It's concern not only me, but all Ukrainian nation. We see that Witkoff is more with Russia than he is neutral to this war.
We were looking at what was and will be a hugely important matter. That is the war in Ukraine, and this now in the light of the deal that was struck last night between America and Ukraine on mineral extraction, which has all sorts of long-term and shorter-term implications for Ukraine and for the war and security, or the lack of it, in Ukraine, and also for the wider Western alliance and the balance of power in the world. What are your thoughts on that deal, Alistair?
I think it changes the direction of the war. I think it puts the US, not necessarily in a military sense, but certainly in an economic sense, in Ukraine. It now has something to defend. It has its own interests. Some of the details, I think Ukrainians have done well in the sense that the investment that America has already made in Ukraine, the military money it's spent, won't go down as a down payment. It's all future payments rather than past payments. So that's an important win, I think, for Ukraine. But also, there's a lot of these sites are undeveloped. A lot of these sites date back to Soviet times. Yeah. A lot of these sites that are going to be mined are in areas of Ukraine that are currently under Russian occupation. So there's an awful lot to be worked out. But I do think now that you've got American interest, even if not security interest necessarily, I think that changes the direction of the war. And I think that puts a lot of pressure on the Russians, who've come out since it was signed.
Of course, which leads to the really, really pointed question, which is Donald Trump going to be the point of that pressure now? He's been talking about being impatient, sending signals that maybe he's even discussed openly, which is a little unusual for Donald Trump, opening the possibility that he'd been played by Vladimir Putin, which indicates genuine impatience. Is he now going to pile on the pressure? I
think so.
We heard from a veteran of national security, knows the Trump situation very well. He thinks we are going to see a stepping up of that pressure. Stay with us, Alistair, because I want to bring into the programme now, live from Kyiv, Yulia Sirko, who's an MP in the Ukrainian Holos Party in the Ukrainian Parliament, now with us. Hello to you, Yulia. Thank you and welcome.
Hello from Kyiv. Thank you for hosting me.
It's good. You're very, very welcome. Let me ask you first of all, just for your take on the story that's breaking here in Washington, D.C. Do you have any thoughts on that? Because I'm sure you watch Washington pretty closely. The National Security Advisor of Donald Trump now leaving, a certain amount of dislocation, questions about the security apparatus now of the United States, of which you will be interested. What are your thoughts on this? What does it make you think? What do you feel now?
There are a lot of news in Ukrainian media that Mr. Waltz will be replaced by Mr. Witkoff, who is de facto is a security advisor, because he is traveling back and forth to Russia, to Gaza, to other places, conflict places. So he is de facto advising Donald Trump on the security. But it also depending if Mr. Witkoff would like to take official position, because I know, that it's very easier to be an official advisor and do deals than to have all burden of bureaucracy and to be official advisor in the cabinet.
Yeah, a decision for him and for the president. I mean, it is sometimes suggested that Steve Witkoff, if it turns out to be him as Waltz's replacement, he's sometimes described as being too close to Vladimir Putin. Is that a fear you share? Does that concern you?
Yes, it's concern not only me, but all Ukrainian nation. We see that Witkoff is more with Russia than he is neutral to this war. So he is spending all the time in Russia. He has, let's be honest, business ties with Russians. He has the Russian partners and had it. He has mutual business with Russian businessmen. So actually, we are very much concerned about his conflict of interest, I would say, this way, with Russia, and that's why he couldn't be a good advisor on the war between Ukraine and Russia, because Ukrainians don't trust him. They see him as a part of Putin and Russian propaganda.
Well, that is a very interesting and very plain-spoken assessment on this from you, Yulia. Thank you for sharing that with us. I must ask you about the minerals deal that's now been struck between Ukraine and the United States. As a result of that deal, it's been significantly rewritten, but as a result of the deal as it now seems to be, do you feel more secure? Do you think Ukraine is in a safer place now? Give me your assessment.
First of all, it's good that this deal finally signed, because, there were so many talks and even, I would say scandal in Oval discussion, in Oval cabinet. So it's good that it's signed. I think it's good that we are closer between, Ukrainian and American nation closer now, and we do see interest of U.S. Nation and business in Ukrainian economy and Ukrainian recovery and development. I think it's a very good sign, and a good and a bad sign for Putin. And also, it's only part of the agreements, because there are 3 agreements in total, in general. So this agreement that is signed is a framework agreement, and then we have 2 more agreements to sign, more in details, in particular on the investment fund and the how it will be disbursed, and how many all the details of investment mechanism. But you can see now
Yes.
that we have first 50 million signed bill of the White House on a weapon supply for Ukraine. And for us, it's more even important than investment, because we need to fulfill and our frontline and to supply our frontline. And for us, it's very, very important. So for us, American production and weapon is more important than even American investment into the economy, because at this point of time, we need weapon supply as a security guarantee for us, so we can be sure that we can protect ourselves, homes, and families.
Yeah, that is such an important point, Yulia, because before you can get into the business of investment in Ukraine's future or reconstruction of Ukraine, you need to achieve peace. So in the light of this deal and your view now, Yulia, do you feel at all confident that President Trump is going to drive Putin to the negotiating table?
I think unfortunately, it took too long, 3 months, for President Trump to realize that Putin is just misleading him. So he's using him in his and buying time, basically, to regroup his army and to refill with a weapon. So I think that's good that President Trump realizing that it's time to say, Putin, if you want peace, please stop firing missiles, do ceasefire. 30 days, then long-term ceasefire, and then we can reach a deal, finally, peace deal, so the Ukrainian nation could put energy and efforts into peaceful life, not fighting on the front line.
All right, Yulia Sirko, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your perspective there live from Kyiv.